As you scroll, when you scroll down this page, you can see at the bottom there, payment details. You scroll down, the rest of the details will show up. If you're entering your credit card information, it goes right there. If you're, again, doing the ACH payment, you have that toggle. You can click one or the other. There's also an option to pay at council where you can print this column out, but obviously be much more efficient all the way around to just pay it right from here. There is a 3% fee if they are using a credit card. If you're doing ACH payments, it's a flat dollar. So that probably is going to work out better if you can just do it that way. But you enter the information, you confirm the billing address, etc. And at the bottom of the page there, you see, click place order. Once that's placed and the processing has gone through, which generally takes a few seconds, you'll get a receipt pop up, which shows the payment has been accepted. You toggle the complete registration button at the bottom, and they're done. So for the scouts or the leaders, for anyone who's doing their own registration at home, it's that simple. Anybody who's completed an order online, be it Amazon or anything else, should be fairly familiar with the process. And again, once you walk through it once, I think the vast amount of the confusion is going to get cleared up. So while we are there, if there are any questions, I can't see the whole screen. So if there is a question, if you could unmute and ask, I'll be glad to answer that now. And then we'll take a look at unit pay.
Will you cover a mix of these?
But in particular with the blueprint, when you have or an intolerance, those are some of the symptoms like hair loss, joint pain.
Okay, I can't tell if somebody's trying to ask a question or if somebody just needs to mute their phone. So if you're not asking a question, we need you to mute your phone. I thought I heard somebody ask a question about a mix of things. We're going to cover, this is how families who are paying by themselves, is there any training specific to a mix of these? Well, there's two ways to do it. There's the family pay option, which is, or the individual pay, which is what Dwayne just covered. And then we're going to cover how if the unit wants to pay for membership. So it's some families pay and then the rest of the units pay.
Jim, how about I go through unit pay and then I'll stop screen sharing and we'll address any questions on the membership.
Yes, I think it would be confusing to answer your question when we'll do that. I think it might be confusing for the unit to do that. But I don't see why you couldn't. You have the opportunity to register and say these are the people that we're paying for, and the other ones have to pay for themselves. I don't know why, but I would imagine you could.
You could. I just, again, don't know why. But I'm going to go forward now with the unit pay. And again, you're free to use whichever one works better for your group. The units that I've spoken to, most of them are leaning towards this because it's kind of the way we've always done it. We get all the money from the scouts and we pay it all at once. For unit pay membership renewal, 2 months before the roster is due, which is October 31st, get the link open, and this will be open to the key 3 for the unit. So you have to find someone or a designee, someone in the key 3 that's going to handle the charter renewal or the membership renewal, excuse me. When you open your roster, you'll see a link there at the top box. You see where it says highlighted renew. By default, you can click the red box on the left column there by name. If you click that checkbox, that highlights everybody on your roster, adult and youth. There is also a column you see there more to the right that says opt out. So let's say you have a troop and 2 of your scouts eagled out. they're not renewing, they're off to college. You would highlight that opt-out toggle by their name to remove them from the active roster. Again, if you have adults that are no longer active, whatever the case may be, Cub packs, if you have, Weeblos that or Arrow lights that crossed over, you obviously would opt them out. You select either renew or opt out for everyone on the sheet, on the list. And if you're clicking opt out, as you see, it's going to ask you, are you sure? Just to make sure that you're not clicking somebody's name by mistake. Once you're sure that everyone there is either renewing or opting out, you're going to get a confirmation. Again, follow through, and then you click the Renew tab once you have all the names selected properly. When you click Renew, again, it will bring you to the next page where you're going to review all of the members. Everybody on that list will pop up in order with the primary position. Adults and youth, everybody's going to show up. Current expiration, the future expiration. Again, by default, as you see, Scout Life is selected for each person. So again, if they don't want the Scout Life, it's very easy just to unclick that toggle box. If you want, you can also click multiple registrations. If you have someone, and this is common, you've got an adult leader, they might be an assistant scoutmaster and the advancement chair, for example. Or you're going to have somebody with a couple different positions. You can make sure that everything they're registered for is showing up. And this is where you would edit all of that. Once you have everything here, the button over here where it says create, it's going to create the renewal. If you click on that, the next page you come up is your renewal order, and this is going to be your summary page. It's going to show you how many youth, how many adults, Scout Life fees, your council fee is going to show up in here, any administrative fee. That's going to be the 3% credit card or $1 ACH. So you have a recap of all of your fees. Now, again, if you want to go to council and pay this in person and take the check down there, there will be an option where you can print this page out. It will create a PDF, print everything out. You can take that along with your payment down to council and take care of it at that point in time. But again, this is where you have the option, and you can see also the credit card or the ACH payment. Click the one that works best for you. Once you've created that batch, it's going to show everything up here. It's going to show who's there, positions, the renewals, and everything there. Click through, again, your summary recap, and then you can pay. So you have a couple options in here. There's a couple different places you can edit the list to make sure everything is good. And then you can, again, credit card, ACH, or use the toggle where you can print the page out, take the PDF down to council. Once you click pay, you're going to get one more referral, or excuse me, one more review. And this is where the unit can set up auto approve. When you put this through, everything's good, or it was going to take you back and you have to approve each person. It's a little more tedious. I don't know that one is better than the other. It's just, again, it's another double check to get all of this through. Now that's a kind of a quick overview, but again, these pages with the notes are all on the Jersey Shore website, so you can go there. Now I'm seeing a lot of chat stuff show up, so give me just a second here. Okay.
Yeah, Dwayne, I'm trying to keep an eye on it. Unfortunately, I'm not the quickest typer. John usually beats me to the punch. So there was one question about how a unit renewal would work if everybody has different renewal dates. And again, I think the unit renewal process is a separate function, which happens once a year for most of us in December, from the membership renewal process, many of whom, because of timing, are now December, but kids could join in September, kids can join in April. And when they come back around, this process would be you would renew them throughout the year.
And if you're doing the unit renewal down the road, you're going to have some of that. And whoever's doing the unit renewal this year, probably 95 to 97% of your youth are all going to renew at the end of the year because that's when they came in. But as the packs in particular and the troops going forward, whoever's doing it, if you're doing a unit renewal, that needs to be addressed as it comes up during the year. So someone needs to check every month and see who's due for renew that month. Because as Jim said, it's going to be calendar, their calendar anniversary, not the end of the year.
And again, the unit renewal answered Nelson's question about why are they, we do list every year. Here are the people that are on the charter. These are the people who are registered in the unit.
Mm-hmm.
In that year. So they do it at a certain snapshot in time. Nelson, there's a national process, and that's the way they tell us they have to do it. Certain things we just kind of got to do.
Mm-hmm. I
Jim,
see some in here about confusion between the parents get mixed messages that they get emails from national say to do this, and then the unit tells them something else. Don't have a good answer for that one other than better communication from the unit, because national is not going to include your unit fee, the council fee, anything else. So yeah, sometimes it might be you're writing a check to national or writing a check to the unit.
Hey,
But
Dwayne,
again,
this
yeah.
is Andy Prizer. I
yes, Andy.
want to do a unit renewal. And could you go back to where you started that? You go into My Scouting and you started the organization or manager or the unit renewal.
Unit renewal, Jim McGuire is going to be talking about in just a second here. I was doing the membership renewals. And it's kind of the same place, but if you're one of the key three, you can go into your unit roster.
Dwayne, could you
Yeah.
stop sharing your screen for a moment, please?
I can do that, and then I'll put it back up for Mr. McGuire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Give me a second here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So part of the reason that we tried to, oops, am I sharing the wrong screen? Sorry. Yeah, too much junk. Part of the reason we were trying to use this method of steering you towards this is because it does emphasize that there's two separate processes. There's the membership renewal. All of it takes place through my Scouting's organization manager. But to go to unit renewal, they have a thing here again where you can click this link, and there is a step-by-step kind of screenshots on how to do, which again Jim will cover in just a moment. For the membership renewal, there is, if you want to do unit pay, again, clicking on a specific link, which are essentially the same PowerPoint that Dwayne was just sharing, just in a PDF format. This goes straight to the national office. But they are two separate. We haven't done unit renewal yet.
Mm-hmm. And Andy, you're muted.
So is the membership renewal, I'm sorry, where was the link for?
That's okay.
Yeah.
So
The membership renewal, if you go to your My Scouting page, as one of the key three, you should have access to the unit roster.
Okay, unit roster.
Right. And that's where that renewal will come up, is on the unit roster.
it's scouting.org, my scouting, excuse me, organization manager
Yeah,
roster. And then you'll see the renew. And like I said, this is I mean, I apologize. We'd love to make copies for everybody, but each one is like 8 to 12 pages. But it will go through screen by screen what you should be seeing.
Right. My only thing is the renewal is grayed out for me, even though I'm a key 3, so
Mhm.
interesting.
You need a key 3, or you need to have one of the key 3 designate you as the person that can do this.
No, I'm a key 3.
Should be open to you.
Keep going.
Okay. Mr. Brill, I thank you very much for wearing your fingers out there and answering all the questions. But if there's anything else, we will be, after the program is done here, we'll be answering any questions also.
Oh, one or two things that I did want to point out just before we move on to Jim, and again, it's listed on the website, kind of like other things to keep in mind. One is that the system is set up so that Scouts Life magazine, it's set to a default stating that you would like Scouts Life magazine. So make sure you check as you get to the bottom to if you don't want the kids to get Scouts Life, to deselect that link. National has it toggled to the on position. So that's just something I wanted to make sure you were aware of.
Right. And especially if you have a situation where you've got 2 or 3 kids in the unit and mom is an adult leader and dad's the cub master and stuff, you don't need 5 copies of Scout Life. Okay. If there's nothing else for me, Mr. Gillick, if you could let me share again, I'm going to put the presentation back up for Mr. McGuire.
Yeah, I need to make you co-host again? I think you still have your,
Oh, I got it.
okay.
Mr. McGuire, it's all yours.
All right. So hello, everybody. And I'm a firm believer that once we get through this, 10, 20, 30 years from now, it'll be a piece of cake.
Yep.
So yeah, change is always a problem, always tricky. But I do think that in the long run, this is going to be a much easier system. So this year we deal with it, and I think you'll find next year when we're doing this, it'll be a piece of cake. The unit renewal is separate from your membership. You're literally going to check that the charter is good and you're going to pay your charter fee. That's what it's going to come down to. So, Dwayne, let's move through the slides if you would. Your key 3 can get into it, and the key 3 charter organization rep can designate somebody else to do that. But the key 3, you change the positions without new applications. You can take care of that, and then you look for any validation checks or warnings. So we'll move to the next one. This page is also on the Jersey Shore website. Anything in red is telling you that you have to fix it. For example, leaders don't have current youth protection. Obviously, you can't sign a charter with a leader that doesn't have youth protection, or leaders are less than 18. So that might just be an error of moving the person back to being a youth for whatever reason. That's something that's less likely that you picked. But you're going to get this page and it's going to tell you you can't proceed because of whatever reason. Warning, you can proceed with the warning, but the errors you cannot. Next one. So every time you open it up, you can correct something and then go back in and it will validate again for you. And if you have, eventually you get to where you have no errors, and then you insert the leader's name down here on the bottom. You're going to type in which one of the key three, or if you've designated a person from the charter rep position, designated someone, you type their name in and then you hit the approve button. Remember that one of the reasons that this is set up this way, remember that charter organizations are responsible for signing off on leadership. So that's why this is going through that um, sort of program or sort of task that you have the key three involved. Next one. Again, the 3%. The charter fee is $100, so your credit card would be charged $3, or you can do the dollar fee, and then you submit it. Next one there, and then it's gonna give you a recap of what you're spending, and then you hit confirm that that's what you want to do. Your button down here for confirm, bottom right, and next one. And you're done. They will email to your address and it'll be posted overnight. The next day, you'll be recorded. So what you're looking to do as far as the charter renewal is once everybody is error free, and excuse me, and as the key three, you can change positions. It might say something like it pops up, and what you didn't realize is maybe a committee member or two committee members had decided not to renew with your pack or your troop, and all of a sudden it's popping up. You don't have a committee member, or you don't have the whatever. It'll tell you about that. And then you can correct that error, go back. It may take you a day or two. You get that error corrected, and then you're ready to go. It'll email you a receipt to your, um, you know, it'll email the receipt to you, and you're done. So in the long run, it's going to be a lot easier. One of the things that they do recommend is that we start checking our rosters, checking our accounts more often. Don't start, and we're all guilty of this. I am. I just found out my my committee chair has expired youth protection. So I can't read charter, of course. So he'll be doing that tonight. We'll get that squared away. But I should have checked that a month ago and found that out. I was counting on the fact that people get emails, they know they're supposed to do it, and he didn't do it. So we'll get it fixed. But you should be checking, when you get a chance, and go back and see, and you'll be able to avoid those problems when it comes down to it at the time when you're ready to do it. So that's the renewal part.
Okay. I'm going to stop screen sharing, bring back everyone. So again, we're going to put out any questions or comments. A couple of the things to keep in mind here. As has been mentioned a couple times, the charter renewal is going to be pretty much simple, straightforward, yes, no, in and out. It's the membership renewal where we're anticipating some more of the questions. If the membership, if you're going with what they call the subscription membership, that's each scout, each registered adult takes care of it on their own. It's still important, as we've mentioned, someone in the unit needs to be checking monthly to see who's up for renewal, who's not. And to Jim's point, where's the training? Is the youth protection taken care of? Is all the requirements taken care of?
You'll also get a monthly email from National 60 days before people expire. So you don't have to log in and check. You're going to get an email.
Okay, but yeah, somebody needs to be paying attention to it though,
Right. You need to pay attention. Yep.
okay?
You also need to pay attention to your PIN for your unit to make sure that you have the correct information on there. If somebody's looking to join a local unit, they're looking around town, make sure your meeting nights are updated, make sure your location is updated, and then you can check your roster really anytime you want. Um, you know who's on or off by just getting right onto your account, and you can, to Dwayne's point, maybe once a month check it, see how things are doing. But if you need it, if you have to print it out for summer camp or something, you can print it right off of your account.
Yeah. One of the suggestions is, the units, you all have monthly committee meetings or regular committee meetings. Just designate someone, you have a treasurer's report, you have a secretary's report, have a membership report. That way you know somebody's paying attention.
You can also print your charter certificate on there as well if you wanted to present that to your charter.
Mhm. Okay. Um, John, you've been wearing your fingers out, and I know you've been answering a lot of this. I'm seeing some questions pop up. Is there anything that has not been addressed?
Did we talk about the ACH and the credit card?
You did.
Okay.
For anybody, any of the payment options, you're going to get the option of either pay on a credit card, you will be assessed a 3% fee. If you can pay via ACH, you are paying a dollar fee. So for the charter renewal, it's a difference of $2. But if you're renewing 35 scouts, that's a big number.
So
Once,
there are, I'm
once you
sorry, go
get,
ahead.
once you get your bank account linked in there, it's very simple and it's just a couple of clicks to renew people, and it only costs you $1 each
Mhm.
each batch.
Correct.
Sorry, wrong.
And it becomes very simple once you have the bank account. Everything else is pretty easy once you have that linked up.
And again, I hate to keep sharing the same thing, but if you go back to the web page that we have set up under first things first, after making sure you check the unit roster for emails, was deciding how you want to pay. If it's via ACH, there's a link right here on how to go about doing that. So you have, now the good news is you got to do that once. The bad news is it's another 11 pages of step screenshots. Um, right now, the key things to do is to go in, if you're going to do the unit pay, to do that now. And we'd ask you to do the membership renewals between now and Christmas. The charters are due by the end of the year, but they are two separate processes. So we'd ask you to please, between now and Christmas, if you can handle that membership renewal portion, and then we can tackle the unit renewal portion between Christmas and New Year's. We realize this is a lot, that this is new. We do want to be on hand to be able to help you out. Your commissioners are willing to help. You can reach out to your district executives. We can schedule virtual meetings for you where you can share your screen, and Monica or Nancy can kind of walk through with you if need be. Hey, what am I looking at here? If you're going to do that with Monica and Nancy, I'd ask you to please try and schedule it during the workday. That would make life a lot easier for them. But we do want to be as available as we can to help you through this process. So that being said, why don't we open it up to general questions, answers?
Okay. One here, I saw the typed in, how long does it take a unit charter to go from pending approval to approval? My understanding is once you click the final approval on your end, you'll be up the next day.
Somebody did ask, and Monica, you may have answered it in the chat, but they were asking about chartered organization representatives signing the unit renewal paperwork? Is it something that they do online, or is there some kind of a paper form? My understanding is that they can affirm those things online. And can you correct me if I'm wrong? You may have to speak up.
Me?
I'm going to take you off mute, Monica. I promise you weren't going to have to talk, but I'm going to make
No,
you
it's
talk.
okay. When they're bringing in paying a council, I ask that they bring that paper and have it signed by the chartered organization, but if they're doing it online, I don't get anything.
Yeah.
So,
Now that you did mention to me that as you're going through the charter renewal process, Mr. McGuire mentioned the validation thing where we come up with leader errors. If there are errors in leadership that, hey, somebody is now a new cub master or somebody moved to a new committee chair position, let's say, the chartered organization representative has to make those changes in organization manager. Am I correct there?
yeah, so it can be the chartered organization rep, or the chartered organization rep can assign somebody as the chartered organization rep delegate. That person can edit the positions, those two people. That's what I understand it to be, that nobody else can edit their positions but those.
And again, that would be under the organization manager thing in my dot
Well,
scout.
when they bring up their unit renewal and it says edit positions, it
Mhm.
throws them into that place where you can position manager. Under organization manager, there's position manager. That's where they go to change positions. Sorry,
Okay.
I didn't make this all up.
No,
Right,
and each year
so just
there's
on
gonna,
that note, in position manager, if I need to delete somebody, how do you do that in
You
position?
can't delete people.
You just opt them out.
That's in renewal where you opt them out. You
Oh,
can
okay.
opt out. You can't opt anybody back in. Only I get to do that.
Okay, that's fine. And then if I want to, there's somebody who's on the committee who wants to be committee chair, and committee chair wants to be on the committee. Right? You
Okay,
can flip two people. How do you do
right.
that?
You did it, or are you having trouble?
how would you do that?
How would you
You
do
just
that?
click and drag them.
You have to be a COR delegate though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the charter rep has to do that, or the delegate.
Key 3, yes, the only person that can change positions is the COR or COR delegate. COR delegate is not allowed though to sign paper applications. They're only allowed to change positions within the unit of registered leaders.
Okay, and then if I need to change the charter organization rep, that would go through you, Monica?
Yes, application, youth protection, and the criminal background and the fee.
That's no problem.
Are you quitting?
I just moving, not quitting.
Okay.
We're playing musical chairs.
Okay.
One question that popped up in the chat here. Somebody asked if they can pay for membership and charter altogether, and the answer there is no. Again, these are separate processes now, so there's going to be a payment for the unit charter, and there's going to be a payment for the membership.
Are you talking pay at council, or are you talking the credit card? The online one they can do separate. They can bring in, if they're coming to council, they can bring one check. I have no
Okay.
problem with that.
All right. Thank you for the clarification there. Yeah, I was
Sure.
referring to the online, and
That's separate.
online it's two separate.
I have a question on the unit renewal. I printed out and it reads unit renewal paper. It has everybody in there, the names, everybody looks all right to me. It allowed me to do all that. And when I print it out now, it says on the bottom, unit renewal leader approval, which I believe would be the charter organization rep. Sounds like you did it all right. Does it make sense to you?
Sounds good. It's hard. I don't see what you guys see, so sometimes it's hard for me. I like visual.
Yes, so do I. Yeah, it looks like it, way it's printed out and everything else, it looks like it's all right. It took a little doing,
So Monica, Jeff Downs asked the question, where is in the unit renewal, or maybe Jim can answer this, where it talks about the chartered organization approval. Are you talking about for new leaders, Jeff? I'm not sure approval for which.
Sorry, it's Kristen.
Oh, Kristen,
yeah.
hi.
No, that's all right.
Hi, Kristen.
Where do a charter org rep actually sign anything or have to approve anything? Because I went in and renewed the unit, but I didn't see anything for him.
Did you renew it online though and pay
Yes.
for it? Then there's nothing there. Yeah,
Okay.
it just
So
flows through.
is
They
there
may
any
have
kind
had
of
you as the
paperwork?
delegate.
Okay. Is there any kind of paperwork they have to sign, or like, can we drop off to you, or?
Everybody should get the chartered organization agreement signed.
Where is that?
That's
Is
on
that
our
on the
website
Jersey Shore
too.
Council website?
Yes,
I think it is. I just
it's
want
on
to.
that same page under where the charter stuff is. If you scroll down.
Okay, so it's like completely separate.
Yeah, and it's a
That's fine.
fillable PDF too. You could fill it all out, print it out, and then take it and get the signature.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's
It's
at the
right there.
bottom.
I
Oh,
just
yeah,
sharing
if
screen
you
there.
click
There's
on
annual
that.
charter agreement.
Yep.
Okay.
It's also
Sorry,
worth
Jeff.
noting, if should you need it, adult applications, youth applications, the financial assistance application. For those of you who have youth or family members in need of financial assistance, that's there as well too.
And on that, for the financial assistance, I forgot to mention, that has to be done at council. You can't do the financial assistance online. If you have someone that fits into that category, then that one would be printed out separately and taken to council.
Do the,
Can I,
Yep.
sorry. Can I just ask you to clarify? So for instance, I know we have two, and I know we had the letters. I gave them to our committee chair. So if we were to pay in person with a check, they would bring those letters, or are you saying there's a separate process for it?
I don't know what letters you're talking about.
We have two scouts that applied for assistance, and we received
Oh.
some sort of letters. I don't remember if they were from national or from council. They might have been
No.
national for a certain amount
Right.
of money.
Right,
Towards
they're from
their-
us. So you bring them in when you do your reach charter, and we take that off.
Credit.
So like they would bring the check to pay for the renewal, bring those letters, and basically it would be whatever the amount is that's at the end of the online process minus those two letters.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Once we get through this, you're gonna love it.
Next,
I'm gonna take up drinking after this. Oh my God.
I'm gonna
We
let
get-
the
We
Take
get
up
through this
part
this
slide.
first year, it's gonna be
There's
fine.
so much. It's just, there's a lot of little
Yeah,
things that are go on, like if you're having, you might get an error when you get all the way, if you're doing a pay at council, and it's stupid things like the emails are missing for the kids, or relationships are messed up. The address doesn't have a county in it, duplicate phones, it's a nightmare.
That's why, again, the webpage is first thing first, check the rosters to
Right.
make sure the information's correct on the roster.
and on
your
that,
And I think next year we'll all get ahead of this a little bit further.
yeah,
And hopefully,
If anybody has any questions, feel free to call, email me. Nancy works remotely. She's a big help. She researches a lot of it for me, so please reach out.
and also on that, you can reach out to the commissioner staff, and we'll be more than willing to help where we can also. We're not Monica, we don't pretend to be,
Oh,
but we can help.
thank you.
she's gonna take up drinking. I wouldn't want her-
Well, hey, if
Hey.
you need an assistant, we can find one.
all the more
Monica-
reason to call during working hours.
That's true too.
All right.
Monica,
Mr. Gellick, I believe, is there any wrap up or anything else? Any other questions, concerns we can address?
is Monica working tomorrow in the office?
Maybe, Joe.
Maybe.
Yes, I am. Yes, I will be there tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
I have a question. This is Kevin Casper from Lacey Pack 156. I have some we're going all in. Having we have a lot of new scouts joining different times of year, so we're having all of them do self-pay. And I'm finding that some people are going through the process but not doing the payment. So when I look at the roster and I look at applications, I can see paid, no, no, no. And it doesn't seem like there's a way for me to ping them or anything like that from the site or follow up with counsel, like, is the payment just waiting for processing through the bank? So I think I just have to reach out to the families and say, hey, I see you're not paid, but you've submitted your application. Please complete that last 5%.
Kevin,
Is anybody else
I'm
experiencing that?
afraid that's probably the best, most efficient way to do that. But I can take that feedback and I can pass it up to the guy at National who gets everybody's, feedback and say, hey, if enough people mention that, that's something that might be functionality that they can put into the next iteration of this thing. It's a good suggestion. I wish I could help you with it.
Okay. Well, part of that also is we're registering all of our leaders because our PAC is paying for them. But one of the leaders went ahead and started their registration, but they didn't go through the payment. So now I can't I don't know how to stop their application and redo it on my end. So I guess that's my other question is that when someone starts the renewal process for an individual, is there a way for the key three to cancel their renewal so that the PAC or troop can reprocess it for them? It's a very specific question, and sorry if it's the wrong
It
forum.
is I'm sorry, somebody was going to jump in.
It was me, Monica.
Please.
I don't know if there's a way, but I would have to look into it. There could be.
Yeah, I don't see one based on what I see, but so that's going to be just a heads up for some people. It's going to be a little annoying. It's just because you see they're done, just makes you follow through and it says they're paid. Because I just kind of was noticing that now. I was like, oh, everyone's doing a great job, and not so much as I'd hope. Sorry. And then the other part is I see I could have sworn I did want to I submitted one for a leader and it said it was in the submitted status. And it says that submitted means that payment hasn't been processed yet. So is there after payment's made and people are clicking through the buttons, does council have to go in and process anything, or is there anything you guys do on that end? Or should it be pretty much within 24 hours it goes through? And if not, there's some type of other issue. So I think my question is when someone submits an application and submits payment, is there if they do on a Friday, it doesn't matter if no one's in the office for a couple of days, right? It should automatically go electronically through the system as
Are you
paid.
talking about an online application for
Yeah,
youth?
yep. Renewal for a youth, renewal for either way.
So when someone renews, Monica, the money National usually sends it to us in email the same day that we get a receipt.
We get the notification that somebody paid. It doesn't give us a name. We have to run reports to find it, but how long are we talking that it's sitting out there?
Well, one of them's been for a month. So I don't know if I just somehow accidentally didn't hit the payment button. I could have sworn I did. And therefore I didn't hit the button. And it's just in submitted status. But then I submitted other ones. But so that's why I was gonna reach out to that specific person.
So I have a question for you.
Sure.
You have people renewing online.
Yep.
Do you get notification that somebody renewed online, and
No.
I believe you have to go in and approve them?
No, key threes. I have not been getting any notifications that when people are renewing, and I have not yet had to go in and accept anybody.
Okay.
No, because there's scouts I see right now that have been renewed, and I haven't had to approve them. They just get approved. So,
Kevin, you might want to email the name of that specific leader over us tomorrow and we'll check.
Yep.
But I'm afraid it sounds like maybe they haven't. I mean, it might take a day, to your point, for it to cross over, but it's not going to take a month.
Okay, just making sure there was nothing they weren't processed in batches every Wednesday or something, and you have to wait.
No, we get emails throughout the day when somebody goes online, almost in the
to adult leaders that it says submitted, and it's not changing. So I don't know what it is, but I have something similar to that as well.
Yeah, And if you go above the column, submitted means payment has not been processed. So, okay. All right, I'll
Yeah,
keep an eye on it.
the
And,
only
thanks.
other thing that I could think of, but again, it wouldn't be a month, is if they were waiting for a criminal background check to clear or something like that, but that doesn't take that long. That again is a few working days, unless there's a problem, and then I get involved.
Okay, I'll reach out about the individual person and I'll just kind of monitor everybody else and see how long they stay in submitted status for in the future. But in good news, I submitted some this morning and they are now paid, like less than a day
We
later.
appreciate it.
Yeah, so 7 went flawlessly. 1 that I did a month ago is still pending. So, all right,
Hey, that'll
not to scare anybody. It worked out mostly well. Thanks.
get you in the Hall of Fame, those kind of numbers. And it is something I think the more often we see it and do it, it is going to get simpler and easier. Apologize, new processes are always difficult. We are available to help in any way we can, like we said, via email. Please call the office. Nelson, you had one more before we let everybody go.
Yeah, how can the paper how can the paper applications be submitted? Do they have to be mailed, or is there anywhere online that we can submit them?
The paper applications, if you're printing them out to bring them to council, then you wouldn't be trying to submit them online.
No, so we're one committee member short, and we need to do a multiple, and so I have to collect a adult application for them.
Okay.
Am I able to not come up to Tom's River? And can I collect that?
We'll figure some way to get it from you. Why don't you email us tomorrow? Because again, that's kind of a specific.
Okay.
But we'll find some way to get it to Eli and get it up, or John and get it up if we need to. And again, if we need to schedule virtual kinds of screen sharing, things like we're doing now, that way, Monica or Nancy or myself maybe can see your screen and say, okay, here's where you find that. But please go use the Jersey Shore Council website. It is pretty well laid out. There is also scouting.org has a membership resources with all the same screenshots, but they also have some video tutorials, which you might find a little bit more helpful, or just reach out via email or phone. That being said, if there isn't anything else specific, I guess we'll end the meeting. Thank you all so much for joining, and please don't hesitate to give us a call if we have any questions. If I don't have the chance to talk to you, please have a happy holiday. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thanks,
folks.
Jim.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Right.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Thank